of terror.
Because that is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not hyperbolic for me as a Latino.
No.
No, I'm not being racist.
It's incredible to dismiss my opinion for being a white
No,
man.
I'm not dismissing your opinion.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is Anna Navarro proving to be a racist. And this is going on a common thing or common trend with Democrats that they have always been the racist party. This is not really a surprise. This is not really a mystery. It's just a cold hard fact. These people are just racist people, and that is how we're just going to do it today. So, again, we have more things to do with this in terms of, like, all these things that we're going off of. Now, we have here to where Brad Polumbo is pretty much just roasting, destroying everything that these people are doing. He brought out receipts of how America was pretty much on how Democrats were favoring with child sex changes. This is kind of the reality and the truth of it all. And here's the clip of him really just destroying these Democratic people of the whole thing here.
Obama's falling into the messaging trap. The issue for Democrats is not just the messaging. A lot of them seem to think that, well, if we just got the messaging right, America would love our ideas. Actually, no, a lot of their ideas are deeply unpopular. The Democrats have allowed themselves to become the party that stood in almost uniform behind child sex changes across America.
That's just not true.
I'm sorry, I can explain it in 30 seconds how true it is. Joe Biden brought Dylan Mulvaney to the White House for an interview talking about how important it was to keep those procedures legal in all 50 states. Every Democrat, after the recent Supreme Court decision, almost every Democrat in Washington put out a statement decrying it, that states would dare regulate puberty blockers being given to 11 or 12-year-olds. On the border, on inflation, there are many issues where it's not a messaging issue. The policy is also the problem for Democrats.
Yeah, and if anybody's been watching my channel, you know about the transgender or detransition Reddit that goes on through. And here's a few things that we have to go over here, because obviously this woman is going to start spouting some stupid, dumb stuff about the whole stuff and all this, and we're going to go through it. So obviously he is not wrong here. We had where Biden did invite Dylan Mulvaney into the White House. So this is what's been going on here. And then again, when he's talking about the Democrats really supporting the transgender ideology and what's been going on for the past 4 years, if not more, we had so many Democrats really going out and batting for the transgender ideology. I mean, again, we have this here, this right here. We have Democrats in Illinois introduce HB 4876. This bill would pretty much protect will classify parents as child abusers if they don't transition their kids with gender-affirming care, aka puberty blockers. So they want to use this way to take kids away from parents if they don't transition them. This is the bill that we have here. It literally says, amends the Abused and Neglected Child Reporting Act, provides that abused child means a child whose parent or immediate family member or any person responsible for the child's welfare or any individual residing in the same home as a child or paramour of the child's parent denies the child access to necessary medical care, including but not limited to primary care services, abortion service, or gender affirming services. Amends the consent by minors to Health Care Services Act. Specifies the consent to the performance of abortion services and gender affirming services executed by a minor is not voidable because of such minority. Provides that a healthcare professional rendering abortion services and gender affirming services shall not incur civil or criminal liability for failure to obtain valid consent or professional discipline for failure to obtain valid consent if the healthcare professional relied in good faith on representations by the minor. So essentially, yeah, it will take away. They will take away your kid if you don't allow the kid to have an abortion, or if you don't allow the kid to transition or get a gender affirming care or puberty blockers, etc. That is what's going on in the Democratic House bill here in Illinois, and this is the woman that put up this bill. So again, this is Staffa Murray here. She's the one that propped up this bill, and it's the same thing here. We have where we have the House Appropriations Committee release a spending bill which included $400K to go towards an LGBTQ organization which help kids transition. They offer confused kids chest binders and tucking underwear. And this is what's going on here. You see, the Department of Labor, Health and Human Services, and Education and related agencies continued. The Department of Education, Innovation and Improvement, Garden State Equality Education Fund, INC and NJ, which is New Jersey, and the amount was $400,000, and the Senate was Book Menendez. He did this. He is for trauma-informed strategies to support LGBTQ plus youth. This is what they were supporting here. This is a thing. This was from Senator Menendez. So this is another Democratic person. Again, you had another one here where you had Washington State Democrats unanimously pass SB 5599, which allows officials to take custody of children if their parents refuse to consent to their sex change surgeries. It is not a conspiracy theory to say Democrats are coming for your kids. No, because again, when you go and look at this, you have the bill that says youth seeking protected health services clear Senate, and again, it says, under current law, if a child who has run away from home goes to a licensed shelter, that shelter is required to notify the parents unless a compelling reason applies. The bill allows certified shelters to contact the Department of Children, Youth, and Families in lieu of parents in certain additional instances, such as when a youth is seeking reproductive health services or gender-affirming care. This bill is an important step in ensuring young people across the state have a roof over their heads during an already challenging period in their life. While we hope that every child has a supportive family that will provide them with acceptance and the care they need, it's crucial that we provide housing options to those in crisis. Goes on to say here, access to adjourning of feminine care has been proven to lower rates of adverse mental health outcomes, which it has not. Build self-esteem and improve the overall quality of life for transgender and gender diverse youth. It has not at all. That sexual and reproductive health services address the needs of your young people while preventing adverse mental health outcomes. Now, it says the National Library of Medicine states this, so the legislation would ensure that children who may not have supportive families at home do not end up on the street, but instead have shelter when seeking these protected health services. This bill is such an important step towards protecting our at-risk youth in Washington, said Damini Askini, executive director of the Gender Justice League. It takes immense courage and bravery for trans youth to come out to their family and ask for support. So essentially, this bill will help ensure the safety and opportunity of some of those most vulnerable young people who we work with. So again, this is what Democrats have been pushing forward to. This is not a joke. This is not a lie. This is true, and this is what he has done. This is what So Brad Polumbo is not wrong here. This has been the Democratic mantra for the past 4 years, and again, if we go back and look at this, that so many people are against this. 56 of Democrats support laws banning sex change operations. So again, when you have this here, you are going against a vast majority of people, or a lot of the people that are against this. It's not crazy to assume that people are against this type of stuff. And then when you go on to even go further into this, where you have transgender female athletes in women's sports, 80% of people oppose it. So again, the Democratic people have been pushing this for so long that it just completely derails everything here.
Yeah. What I would say is that on that piece, that is not true. Democrats did not campaign on that. Did Democrats defend the dignity of the LGBTQ, including the trans community? Yes, and they will continue to do that. What I will say is that Republicans totally used that issue, completely weaponized, lying about what Kamala was running on, lying about what Democrats were lying on, and they did it brilliantly, and we didn't fight back enough.
I think they were
that
nasty.
Absolutely
I think
true.
they were toxic
now,
in their rhetoric,
what I also will say, and what you see.
Yeah, so you have this woman here just going out on a tangent and a flat lie of what's been going on. I mean, again, as I said here, recent developments show a complex and evolving stance among Democrats regarding gender-affirming care for minors. Opposition to bans. Democrats have largely opposed state and federal bans on gender-affirming care for minors. They have urged the Supreme Court to strike down such bans, arguing that they discriminate against transgender youth and infringe on parental rights to make medical decisions for the children. Support for access. some House Democrats are actively working to expand access to gender-affirming care for both transgender youth and adults through legislation like the Transgender Health Care Access Act. And it keeps on going down here. We have Democratic leaders too for medical organizations. So again, they're all part of this. This is not really a crazy deal here. But now we're going to go to Anna Navarro here. Anna Navarro, where her actual racism peeks through the best thing possible, because you can't unexplain it, right? She's just caught in the deer in headlights, and Brad Polumbo really puts her in her place.
To oppose something. I am hoping that next year there will be policy debates between Republicans and Democrats running for Congress, and we will get to hear real policy differences and policy proposals. Also, I want to respond to you saying that I was hyperbolic when I talked about a reign of terror.
That is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not hyperbolic for me as a Latino.
now.
No, I'm not being racist.
It's incredible to dismiss my opinion for being a white
No,
man.
I'm not
is
dismissing
racist.
your opinion. I am
Yes,
telling
you
you that
are.
the Latino community, the
lot
brown
of them
community
disagree with you.
in
You do not
America.
speak in one voice
Okay,
for
well,
them.
let me speak with my voice. I mean, you said I was being hyperbolic.
you
Let me
insulted me
respond.
racially, sure.
I'm not. You being a white man as an insult?
When you invoke it to dismiss my
Being a
opinion,
white man
yes.
as an insult?
When you invoke it,
Are you?
as
Do
an
you
argument.
think? Do you think Latinos are living under a certain?
Yeah, so again, we have Anna Navarro here really just calling for it, dismissing his actual opinion because he's a white man. This is what they do all the time. And let me let you know that the Latinos voted heavily for Trump in 2024 than they have ever done before. I mean, if you even look at this here, where Latino male voters shift toward Trump in 2024, you had 54% for Trump in 2024 and 44% for Harris. That's a 10% drop. And you had 59% for Biden in 2020 and 36% for Trump. So Trump got like a 20 plus or so increase over the Latino voters. And we even have this here where Trump support among Latino voters, he is up to 45%. So again, Anna Navarro here is just being an idiot. So are they just a racist now? Are they white racists for supporting Trump? These people just don't get outside of their bubble whatsoever, because they're always on the cackling hens or the stupid hens on The View, and they're always in this bubble, and they have always yes man agreements. And when they get outside of that bubble, they can't function in society when people disagree with them, because they start raging at people. And that's just a common trope with the Democratic mantra here. It is a common thing. And then when you have this here, she uses racial talking points because that's all that they have. And of course, when she's addressed on it, she gets angry over it. And again, we have him going out and just pretty much destroying her even more.
Circumstances that other people may not be right now in this country.
We're about to have a whole conversation about that very thing. But I just want to make a point that, Brad, all she's saying is that her view of the situation is different from yours. I don't think that's an insult.
She basically said, I'm wrong because I'm a white man.
She just said, I see it differently.
I said, I see it differently.
She said, I see it differently from you, which is not an insult. It's not, and it's also not a racial insult.
It's also not an explanation why I'm wrong.
But we have a lot more to discuss on this very topic, so we'll have some time in the next segment. Up next for us.
And of course, you have Abby Phillips here really saying the most dumbest things possible, as per usual with this individual, because she's an idiot, and saying like, oh, well, she's just saying that as an individual, you're wrong or whatever. No, she clearly stated that because he's a white man, that his points have no value. They don't mean anything. And I've had this said before to me to the point to where like, oh, well, you have had this privileged life or whatever, so you don't get to speak about this. Oh, you had this happen to you because it's a talking point that means nothing because you're attacking somebody's certain point of view or what have you, or where they're from, their race or whatever, instead of attacking their actual points. It's a very lack of reasoning and shows very bad debates because you can't attack their points, so you have to attack them personally. This is what that they do, and it's just absolutely annoying. And of course, as per usual, she cuts to commercial because, they lose the argument. These people are cowards. They're not really strong in what they say. So when things get really bad or out of hand, they'll cut to commercial because, they're losing the argument. This is what they do. And I just want to have everybody's opinion on what they think this is, because honestly, this is really draining. This is annoying. And, to have these people go out and lie and do these racial attacks is really obnoxious. And I'm pretty sure you guys, and especially me included, are just getting really, really tired of it and are tired about this whole racial thing and white people being this big boogeyman when they're just not. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.